Greetings to all our patriotic, nationalist, and constitutionalist brothers. This is where William Sanchez speaks, one of the commanders of Ocado 2020, the official of the CICPC, credentials 33,203.
03.
The reason for this message is directed to Douglas RICO, the criminal boss of Douglas RICO, director of said institution, where I belong and belonged, and obviously we will work to reach our institutions again. Yesterday on the 12th, the criminal Douglas RICO, through his Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter accounts, was publishing about me, about William Sanchez, a Venezuelan with ID 165-84-723, and of course a former official of said institution, where Douglas RICO's boss has been director for more than 6-7 years. Let me tell you this message. Douglas RICO, you are a criminal commissioner who comes from the top of the tycoon cartel with jobs in Valencia. Of course, you then went through smuggling and reached the board of directors of the CICPC because you are a creep who has pimped everything, the robbery that is done in Venezuela under the command of the criminal dictatorship framework. You are a criminal just like Maduro, just like Sylvia, just like from Edgy Rodriguez and all those rat domes that have been doing bad things for quite some time. And you, as director of a worthy institution of the CICPC, have taken down all these criminal drug traffickers and have become one of them. Why don't you put Syria Flores children on social media? Why don't you get real criminals out on social media?
Wait.
Are you talking about William Sanchez being a criminal? You published that, in your account. This is you, Lyrico. Yesterday when you did it, yesterday when you published it, you sent your emissary, what is handled with the regime, to get the message to me to see if I have been intimidated. Let me tell you that William Sanchez is a nationalist, constitutionalist patriot who comes from a police training of true patriots. And you did not tell the citizens through your Instagram account that when what you released was here, of course, they presented themselves as terrorists for rebellion and instigation. You did not tell anyone what you used to release all this that you released through my networks, social. And that your commissioners, Cucula pulls me, Kate's yours, they extend it, here they are. So you took out your rich dubla there on the 12th, the 14th, and we are going to respond to you. You didn't inform them that this was already 5 years ago when they imprisoned me. But why did they arrest me? Because they call me a terrorist, rebellion, and instigation. Because I stood up before the Junquito massacre. Faced with the massacre that you allowed, because the criminal Nicolás Maduro Moro and Diosdado Cabello and Vladimir Padrino Lopez massacred and brutalized our companions from Junquito, Oscar Pérez, the Lugo brothers, Pimentel, then the companions who were massacring you as director to Frank. You were not able to launch an investigation to determine what had happened there. You separated all the CICPC officials. And it's been 5 years, and let me tell you, William Sanchez is not a criminal. William Sanchez is a patriot who will continue fighting to do justice and for you to pay for what you did to colleague Oscar Pérez. And we are going to hold this institution high because Oscar Pérez is a clear message. So what you didn't say was that when they introduced me, of course they presented me as terrorists, rebellion, integration, Guanamero. 5 years ago, what you didn't say was because we rose up because of the massacre that you allowed a colleague from our institution. 5 years have passed, but we remain firm and dignified fighting for the freedom of Venezuela. And we are going against Maduro. We are going against these criminal leaders. And you are a halabacate of that system. And the CICPC institution knows it. And all police forces know it. The leaders are doing what they earn because you allow the mafias, but we, the patroletas from the OCAA 2020, are working, training, and we are going to bring freedom to Venezuela. The OCAA 2020 bets on a decree of war death, and a constitutional foundation, and on all its police, military, and civil officials who are there among the public administration. We have the forces. We under 333 and 350 have the right to rebellion, and it is the only way for these criminal dictators to get out. So yesterday when I received the message, it was sent to me by this rat that is here, this rat called Garatterol, that is decorated there by Maduro. This rat that has come from Brazil, has passed through the United States, has arrived in Canada. This was delivered. Credentials. This rat is a First Sergeant Gustavo Enriquez Gratterol Torrealba. Identity card 21-537-564, Venezuelan. And the expiration dates of this card are until 2023. This rat has infiltrated all the movements that we are working on, but we have identified it. Because this rat, Raiderol, that yesterday, when you just published the message on Instagram, in 27 seconds you were already sending it to me. Because you think you are going to come and intimidate me. We of the Immediate Response Brigade prepare and train to combat criminal delinquency, and you have become one of them. And of this patriotic force of what is going on in T20, we tell you that what you took yesterday, if you intend to intimidate, to me you are wrong. And we send a message to the police and military forces, the patriotic forces. We are working from the outside and inside. We are doing an ant job. We are carrying messages through social networks because the only thing we have is that we do not have journalists or influencers that guide us. This information, but you patriot can spread this information and this rat from Gratterol, this rat that has been here decorated by Maduro, this one that is here, this is Gratterol, this same one that is here is this one that is here. We have fully identified it. This sergeant is around there in the United States and Canada. He passed through Brazil, delivering and infiltrating the patriot movements. Then, of course, they use a WASP network of criminal spies who they think are going to intimidate this patriot movement. Don't worry. 2 years ago, the criminal Remilio Ceballo also wanted to intimidate me by involving us in the operations that you mount to make the citizens believe. And of course, take a positive step. But we are working with intelligence against intelligence, and we are going to liberate the nation in all this, to let them be there, so that your boss, this is your boss, the dear one who was supposedly going to send me to this editor from Spain to Venezuela, the one who tells you this thing, this one is going to fall. And so when this one falls, we are going for all the criminals like you who they have held positions in the institutions. I wanted to tell you because if this happened for something, here it is, from the Estado Inspectorate to the head of the Immediate Response Brigade of the Estado delegation. This was on September 13, 2010. The response from the head of the delegation here clearly in his opinion says, in might excellent conduct, so you are not going to come and intimidate me. They took me out of the institution because you are criminals. And the patriots, of course, we can't, you can't handle us. And that's why you refuse to look for Perez too. And here are all the procedures where William Sanchez worked to do justice. True justice. Something you don't know about. So all this information may not have reached you. And there is a lot to look for here. We left to release the chase a little. We know that you also have testicles, and they have not even arrived from Europe. But we are working for the freedom of Venezuela. And you are going to fall just like all these criminals who are there, who are falling one by one. So, from what we tell you in 2020, the decree that the Ramoses of Constitutional Foundation are decrees that are in force, and we remain firm and worthy. We are the nation of 2014. Oscar Pérez Guaripano, we call him forever. Take the message to Ledado Cabello and Nicolás Maduro.